A way of the cross. This is a hard story to tell. So many things happened, so many people were involved. There seemed to be so much hate in the air that day. And yet, it's hard to believe that this is a story about love. We were witnesses, though. We saw it all. The beating, the torture, the murder. It was awful. I can still hear the sounds of the crowd cheering, the soldiers shouting orders, and those crying women. It was a violent thing that happened. And yet, when I think about that day, a certain peace comes to me. Here's what happened. See if you know what I mean. I guess I showed up just around the time Jesus returned from Herod's court to Pilate's court. They sure played games with Jesus. The first station. Jesus is condemned to death.
Jesus is standing before angry people who are yelling and saying mean, hurtful things to him. They scream at him. Some of them tell lies about him, saying that he did bad things. But Jesus stays quiet, even though he knows that he will be hurt. He knows that God is with him. He even asks God to help him forgive the people who were yelling and telling lies about him. Hey, look! Jesus is Pilate! Hey, he's a troublemaker. Get rid of him. Crucify Jesus. Crucify him. Dear Jesus, you stood out all alone before Pilate. Nobody speaks up for you. Nobody defends you. Sometimes I feel alone. Sometimes I feel afraid. Sometimes I feel like I am treated unfairly. Help me to accept unfairness and not complain. Help me pray for those who have hurt me.
The second station, Jesus accepts the cross.
When the soldiers put a big, heavy cross on Jesus' shoulders, Jesus doesn't fight with them or say angry words to them. He knows that he has to carry this cross a long way, and he knows that the way will be very hard for him at times. But Jesus knows that God is with him, and he asks God to help him carry this cross, even though it is heavy. Dear Jesus, you carry your cross. You knew it wouldn't be easy, but you carry it just the same. Sometimes I get upset with troubles that I have. Sometimes I get upset when people ask me to do things for them. I don't want to carry my cross. Give me the courage to carry my cross as you did.
The third station, Jesus falls for the first time.
Jesus is so tired as he walks along the road with a heavy cross on his shoulders. The cross keeps pushing into his shoulders, and the stones on the road hurt his feet. People yell and push him. The soldiers shout for him to move faster. Then Jesus falls, and the soldiers yell at him more. How tired Jesus is. Jesus prays in his heart, God, help me remember that you are here. Dear Jesus, Sometimes I don't pay attention to what I should be doing. When things get hard for me, sometimes I give up. Your cross was so heavy, it was hard for you. You never gave up. You fell, but you moved on. Help me to get up when I fall and keep moving.
The fourth station, Jesus meets his sorrowing mother.
As Jesus walks slowly with the cross on his shoulders, a woman comes up to him. It's Jesus' mother, Mary. How sad for them to see each other now. Mary feels so sad because she sees how much he is suffering. And Jesus sees the sadness Mary feels. Even though they both know that God is with them, they can't even say anything to each other because they are so sad. Their eyes met, but there were no words to say. Dear Jesus, help me to see those around me who love me. Help me to understand that I need them as much as they need me.
The fifth station, Simon of Cyrene carries the cross.
Jesus is so tired that the soldiers know he cannot carry the heavy cross by himself. So they look around and see someone who looks strong enough to help Jesus carry this cross. This person's name is Simon. Jesus just looks at Simon and quietly whispers, "Thank you," to Simon. Then they continue on the long road, carrying the cross together. Dear Jesus, sometimes I pretend not to hear when my parents call me. I leave when I know others could use my help. You gave help to everyone. When you needed help, you accepted it. Help me to give and accept help.
The sixth station, Veronica wipes the face of Jesus.
Jesus is hot, tired, and is sweating. His hair is all tangled, and he is covered in dust from the long walk. Suddenly, a woman pushes her way out of the crowd and stands in front of Jesus. She takes a clean cloth and gently wipes Jesus' face. Jesus is so thankful that he leaves a picture of his face on her cloth. Dear Jesus, there are times when I see someone that is being picked on. There are times when I see someone that is sad. Just as Veronica wiped your face to comfort you, help me to always help others in whatever way I can.
The seventh station, Jesus falls a second time.
How very tired, weak, and sad Jesus is now. Even though he keeps trying to walk with the heavy cross, he just can't keep going. The noise from the crowd and from the soldiers make him feel even worse. Then Jesus falls because he can't take another step. Dear Jesus, you didn't give up. Sometimes when things get hard for me, it's hard to keep trying. I want to quit. When things get hard for me, help to get up and keep going as you did.
The eighth station, Jesus meets the women of Jerusalem.
After Jesus gets up, he continues on the road carrying his heavy cross. He passes some women who are crying because they are so sad to see Jesus suffer. But instead of thinking only of himself and how bad he feels, Jesus tells a woman not to keep crying because of him. He tells them instead to take care of others, and especially to take care of their children. Dear Jesus, you stop to help those in need. I get selfish at times and think only of myself. Help me to reach out to others as you did. Help me to see the needs of others and to put their needs above mine.
The 9th station, Jesus falls a 3rd time.
Jesus is so tired that now he can hardly take another step. It is hard for him to breathe. He's been walking a long time along the dusty road, and he has no energy left. He just can't go on anymore. Then Jesus falls down the street for the 3rd time. He is so very tired. Jesus asks God to help him, and Jesus gets up again, even though it is hard for him to do. Dear Jesus, help me to see that nothing is greater than you. Nothing is greater than your love for me. Help me to see that with your help, I can do it.
The 10th station, Jesus is stripped of his clothes.
Finally, Jesus reaches the hill that is the end of the road he has to walk. Jesus knows that he will die here, but before he dies, the soldiers will do more to him. They pull off his long robe, and almost all his clothes are taken from him. Jesus stands in front of the crowd with only a small piece of cloth covering part of his body. Jesus asks God to help him remember that he is not alone, that God is with him through all this. Dear Jesus, you set an example of truth, humility, and love. Help me set a good example for others to follow.
The 11th station, Jesus is nailed to the cross.
How much Jesus hurts as the soldiers nail him to the cross. He hurts all over. He's tired and thirsty. He knows that he's going to die, but then he looks at the people who have hurt him, and instead of saying bad things to those people, Jesus asks God to forgive them. He looks at his mother and tells her to take care of others. Even when he's dying, Jesus is thinking of other people.
He saved others, let him save himself. If he was the Messiah, he would
Tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree?
Dear Jesus, sometimes I say or do hurtful things to others. You stretch out your arms on the love of the cross. Help me to bring your love to others and cause them no hurt.
The 12th station, Jesus dies on the cross.
Finally, after the long walk, after falling 3 times, after having the men beat him, after being nailed to the cross and suffering on the cross, Jesus bows his head and dies. Now this part of his life is over. There is nothing left for Jesus to give or to do. Jesus has given his life for all of us.
Father, into your hands I commend my spirit.
Please kneel. That was a moment you can never forget. Darkness came over the whole land until mid-afternoon with an eclipse of the sun.
Surely this was an innocent man.
Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when we come into your kingdom.
Dear Jesus, death is hard for us to understand. Remind us always that faith will carry us through our losses.
Please be seated. The 13th station, the body of Jesus is taken down.
Now Jesus' lifeless body is taken down from the cross. No more pain or suffering for Jesus. All the pain is over. Mary, Jesus' mother, holds him tenderly in his arms. How sad she is. And how sad Jesus' friends are. They are crying as they hold his body.
Hey! Who's going?
Jesus, my son, let us prepare the body of Jesus
Dear Jesus, how bad was your death, but how gently you were moved from the cross. Help me to treat others kindly.
The 14th station. The body of Jesus is laid in the tomb.
Jesus' friends wash his body and wrap it in a clean sheet. They touch his body gently, and then they put his body into a tomb. When they are finished, they put a very large stone over the entrance so that no one can go inside. Now there is darkness in the tomb where Jesus' body lies, and all of his friends go home because they are very sad and tired.
Get the linens and spices ready.
Let me wash him. I have some fine linen that we can use. Thank you.
This is a brand new tomb cut out of rock.
Dear Jesus, help me to carry on your work.
What wondrous love is this, O my soul, O my soul? What wondrous love is this, O my soul? What wondrous love is this that calls the Lord of bliss to bear the dreadful curse for my soul, to bear the dreadful curse for my soul.
That was the day of preparation, and the Sabbath was about to begin. The woman who had come from Galilee followed along behind. They saw the tomb and how his body was buried. Then they went back home to prepare spices and perfumes. They observed the Sabbath as a day of rest in keeping with the Jewish law. All was quiet when I went home that day. But somehow, I knew the story wasn't going to end there. As our presentation comes to an end, we remember Jesus and the sacrifice he made for us. Jesus will rise again for all his followers as a symbol of God's love for us. As a sign of respect, we ask that you please exit the church in silence. Thank you.